What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are currently on the test server, guys, and today I want to talk about the Fusion Champion. I know that I'm a couple of days late, but I still want to give you my take on the champion, kind of like give you my opinion. Is it really worth it for you to get out of the way and go and complete this fusion? If you're endgame, mid-game, probably it's not gonna change your account whatsoever. It's not that insane fusion like Helicat or Brogni or some very solid champion that can benefit any account out there, you know? So in today's video, guys, I want to take this champion for a spin, see what exactly we can get out of him. Before we move over to talk about that, if you enjoy the music you hear in the video, guys, I just want to let you know I partnered up with Soundstripe. They have an amazing music library, so if you're a content creator, a music enthusiast, definitely check them out. The link will be in the description down below or in the pinned comments. Plus, I can save you 15% on checkout by using code SCRATCH. Now, even though, let's just say, you don't need this champion, you completed the game, you beat all the dungeons, etc. The reason why I would still recommend you probably to do the fusion is because maybe the next champion that you're gonna pull, and honestly, I don't wish you this, but it's gonna happen, you might summon this champion. So they're gonna help you for your Faction Guardians. Of course, if you care about that, Faction Guardians are very important, guys, and the fusions, they actually help us a lot. Just knowing that we're getting a guaranteed legendary. Now, if you gotta break the bank to go and do it, probably it's not worth it. So I have him built on a Relentless set. I have him with an Immortal next to that Relentless. Total stats on the champion, we have 94k HP, 2.9k defense, 209 speed, full crit rate, 135 crit damage. Now, this is not a damage dealer, okay? I'm gonna explain you why. And even though his kit might make you think that, oh my god, he's gonna smack, he doesn't do that much damage. So I'm gonna walk you through the whole process in just a second. Let me quickly show you the multipliers first. So the A1 has a 0.11, a double hit. The A2 has a 0.23, a single hit. And the A3, a single target, has a 0.35. If you compare them with Magnar or any other nuker out there, they're slightly lower, okay? Plus, other champions have double hits with the AoE. If we're gonna have a quick look at the masteries, now I don't have this champion fully booked at the moment. I wanna showcase this champion for progression. I know the books are still a massive problem in the game, and I just don't wanna book the champion. I wanna see what he can do without books, and after we're gonna book him and we're gonna move over to different sort of content. But masteries, at the moment I have offense and support 3. I went with Sniper, I went with Master Hexer just to increase our chances to land the HP burn, have it for a longer turn if any of them procs. Probably some of you are like, Skratch, why didn't you went with Lay of Hands? Why didn't you pick Healing Savior? Why didn't you went on Merciful Aid? Well, his A3 doesn't actually heal, guys. It's just equalizing the HP, so those masteries won't increase the heal whatsoever. If we're gonna have a quick look at the A1, double hitter detonates the HP burn, kind of like what Kale does, Dark Kale, what Ninja, etc. So the whole idea with this skill, from what I've seen, is happening once per skill, not per hit. So basically, you're gonna detonate the HP burn once. Now, when you do that, you might wanna have multiple champions to land HP burn if you are relying to deal tons of damage on a specific boss with this skill. Now, this is not a clan boss champion. I wouldn't really suggest you to run him in the clan boss. So that kind of takes out of the equation the whole thing. Let's use him with Vizier, for example. Now, he is pretty solid for Doom Tower bosses as well. He's good for Spider Dungeon, for progression. He's actually going to be a massive carry for a lot of you guys out there that are struggling with that dungeon. It is one of the hardest dungeons in the end. The A2, this is kind of like his main special skill. AoE, HP burn, this debuff cannot be resisted, so we have the Frost Spider in the Doom Tower. This is going to be an awesome skill for that. And a couple of other bosses in the Doom Tower. It's going to be great for waves, where you gotta smash through the thick HP that they have. The HP burn will give you pretty decent damage. Whenever he's going to use the A1 on one target, all the enemies are going to get damage. You know how it works with the HP burn. The A3 equalizes the HP of all allies, then attacks one enemy. Now, one thing that I want to mention in here, you see, the HP levels is going to be equalized based on the highest HP from all your team. So it can be this champion. If you want to count on this champion for it, you might want to run a regeneration and an immortal set on him instead. And like that, he's always going to be the highest HP out of the entire team. Now, one thing that I don't really like, the attack will ignore 30% of the target's defense if the target's current HP is equal to or lower than this champion's current HP. The problem is in the next way. We have the passive, okay? So deals 30% more damage instead if this champion has less than 50% HP. They're kind of like contradicting each other. This one needs me to have low HP. This one needs me to have a higher HP than the target. It's going to be pretty hard to match all this in order to maximize the damage that this champion can do. It's not necessarily a bad thing. How I mentioned, I'm not going to rely on this champion as a damage dealer. I'm going to rely on him as a debuffer and a healer, okay, for his A3. Now, we'll decrease the cooldown of the Exalted Pyre skill by 1 turn if the target's current HP is higher than this champion's current HP. You would actually want to have an enemy with a higher HP just to be able to decrease the cooldown of this skill. This is going to help you a lot in the Spider Dungeon because it's going to bring it on a 2-turn cooldown, at least now, every now and then. You know, it's not going to be constantly because this is on a 4-turn cooldown, 5-turn cooldown without books. I like the reflect damage thing in the passive. We're going to try him to see if he's good for arena. So like this, you might have a bit of a use for him for the 3v3 arena, for tag team arena. He's a HP based champion. I like the idea of the A3. The passive might help you a bit in there as well. So that being said, guys, let's jump over in the dungeon, take him for a spin, see what he can do, and then we're going to fully book him. We're going to take him in arena and we're going to try him in the Hydra clan boss as well, just for a bit, while I'm going to walk you through the whole process. So let's just say we're talking about progression, guys, right? We want to go and do damage on the spider. We want to progress there because I need to get my arbiter. I got to do my missions, etc. He's going to be amazing, okay? So this is the place where he will shine the most. And the Doom Tower, how I mentioned on some of the bosses. But right here, at the team setup, you don't really have to do anything. Depends on what other champions you're going to have available as well. I want him to land that HP burn because that's going to help us to deal more damage. And we're going to wreck the boss like this. Now, can we count on him without being fully booked? We only have a 75% chance, 80% chance with Masteries to land HP burn. I feel like he's going to be more than enough. You're not going to need more than this. You might fail here and there depending on what stats you have on your champions, what sort of combo you have in your team. But how you guys can see, I have 2 enemy max HP hitters. If you don't have a Cold Heart, use 2 Armigers. Armiger is such a powerful champion for these guys. And I do have Apothecary to give me that increased speed, to allow me to rotate much faster. I have Akak in here just to freeze a bit the Spiderlings, just to keep them a bit under control. It's not enough to only have the HP burn because your team is gonna get wrecked. So you see, when he's using the A1, the tick affects everybody on the board, including the Spiderlings. That's kind of like the way it works with the HP burn. So I just want to see if he's good enough like this. But honestly, I'm pretty sure that we're not going to have any sort of issues in here. He's going to do the job. Even though we are losing some of the champions, the cooldown of his skill is not that great. Unbooked is a 4-turn cooldown, so it's going to be slightly harder to land the HP burn. But once we're going to do it, we should be more than fine. For a second, I got worried, honestly. I was going to say, does he have any sort of issues with the AI? Why is he not using that skill? But here we are. He is using it now. And this should give us enough to knock the spider down. We didn't have another HP burn on the queen because with the A1 we were going to detonate that as well and kill it. 7.9 million damage out of Dreng, guys. So this is the main place where you would want to use this champion. Let me fully book the champion now and take him in for a spin in arena. Talking about Dreng and arena, can we get some use out of him for tag team arena, or he's not really great at either? Now, in terms of builds, I chose to go with the Guardian set just because this might interact with his kit with the reflect damage. This is something that I haven't tested just yet, so we're gonna see it once we're gonna do it in arena. You could build him on a deflection set as a second option if this doesn't work. And yeah, you don't want to have reaction on this champion, okay? Reaction is a no-go for him because you want him to take damage in order to see if we're gonna get to kill the enemy nuker while he's damaging the team. Very, very important not to have reaction on him. Another thing to keep in mind is when you're doing the masteries, we're definitely gonna have to change them all around now. I chose to have a bit of crit rate on the champion. I chose to have crit damage as well, because if he is interacting with the Guardian set, the more crit damage you have, the more damage he's gonna get, because that's how ally protection works. So that will reflect even more damage back on the nuker. Another thing to keep in mind. But right here, you're gonna wanna go all the way down to Bulwark, okay? You wanna have more damage mitigation for your team. But you don't wanna have decreased damage on himself. So we're not gonna get blast proof. I don't want him to take less damage from the opponent. I actually want him to get as much damage as possible. So we're gonna go in like this. I'm actually gonna avoid if possible. So we're actually gonna go down like this. We're gonna get delayed that. This will be a bit of damage reduction, but it won't be anything crazy, especially not on the first hit, and that's what matters. We're gonna go on Selfless Defender, and right here we're gonna get Bulwark, so this will soak in more damage. Hopefully it's actually gonna work. We can get Cycle of Revenge, or we can get Retribution to counterattack. I'm gonna go with counterattack just for the sake of it, and I'm still gonna go on the offense tree. I'm gonna go with a crit rate. Let's get that extra crit damage, and let's go down. And honestly, the last one doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go with Methodical, because why not? Now, I'm not gonna get a huge benefit out of the support tree for him, okay? That's why I haven't went with that, and I went with the offense tree instead. Here, we're gonna be able to get like this one. Maybe we're actually gonna get to smack somebody, and we're gonna have that mastery come in play. These are the total stats: 92k HP, 3.2k defense, 197 speed, 81 crit rate, 127 crit damage, barely any resistance, no accuracy. Now, I wish I would have had 100% crit rate, but it seems like my Guardian gear is not there just yet to have all that on. Let's jump in arena and see what he can do. We need to find a team with some strong nukers. There are not that many on the test server, unfortunately. It's kind of like a lot of weak sauce teams. We can't really try against them. Like all these troll teams, they're pretty useless against what we're trying to see. But we're gonna give it a go, and maybe this team that Hell Hades has, we have two damage dealers. Rotos is gonna go for the lowest HP. We're gonna try to see if we're gonna G-bait him to make him go after the lead. Depending on his team preset, actually. He might use the A2 on our champion because it's the highest HP. So let's see what exactly is gonna happen. Candraphone is weak affinity. That's my main problem there. They do have increased attack. I'm not gonna cleanse. I'm not gonna do anything, actually. I want to see all the damage that we can get in. So let's just do that. Okay, Rotos, are you gonna do it or you're not? Okay, so tons of damage. You've seen he dealt tons of damage on us. He gained a lot of HP, which makes sense. But then I haven't managed to see what was the number of the HP he lost because he dealt so much damage on us. Definitely not great against Rotoses, one thing to keep in mind. It might be a bit better against Candraphones, but right now he lost so much HP that I don't see how this Candraphone is gonna do enough damage in order to wreck himself, considering that he is how you call it, weak affinity as well, you know. So let's just do this, equalize the HP. Maybe that's gonna give us a chance. I kind of doubt it, but maybe, just maybe. Okay. Candraphone, come on. Okay, so I'm not gonna put shield. I don't want to have a shield because reflect damage doesn't go through shield. So that's kind of like gonna cancel the whole thing. Ally protection, barely any damage. Barely any damage. So I feel like he's not gonna be that great for arena. I know I was talking with Coldbrew the other day, and he was like, okay, Skratch, you're gonna be able to do these things with him. It's pretty fun. I don't see it, okay? So I don't see him as a great champion for arena, unfortunately. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe these champions just don't do enough damage on him. It might work better against other champions. I gotta say, this is a very weak team power. Probably that Ray is not built for damage, so it's honestly no point in attacking that team because we're not gonna get damage out of that Ray. We're gonna go for the team with Tranda. She doesn't have increased attack in the team, so hopefully she's gonna deal enough damage to see what exactly is gonna happen, how much damage is gonna reflect back. I have a feeling that it's not working per every single hit, it only works per skill basically. So I'm not 100% sure how exactly it's gonna count with that skill on her. You see, she barely got damaged after she dealt a third of the HP damage on our champion. So it's definitely not a great champion for Arena, or at least I'm not feeling the vibe right now with the way I have him built. Guardian set doesn't interact with it. And that 30% reflect damage is not enough in order to kill the nuker and catch them by a surprise. Yes, you can run him with a shield set or crazy stuff like that, but that's about it for the champion. This is pretty much my opinion for Arena, guys. Let's move over to Hydra. Talking about Dreng and the Hydra clan boss, guys, overall, he's not a bad champion for the Hydra clan boss, but if you have the books. If you don't have the books for this champion, he won't be doing much in the Hydra clan boss for you. He has pretty long cooldowns, so overall, he needs those books in order to keep your team alive, land that HP burn, have the 100% chance to do it. And yes, he will help your team a bit. He will give you a bit of damage. He doesn't need accuracy, so you will be able to build him with resistance, give him a blood shield accessory. Like this, you're going to be able to control a bit ahead of Mischief. You have a HP aura for all battles, which is pretty great. He's not a bad champion for the Hydra clan boss either. Now, in terms of builds, it honestly depends what you want to do with him. You can give him whatever. I chose not to change the build on him for the Hydra clan boss. We still kept the same masteries. Now, I do have him fully booked at the moment, so this doesn't really benefit him. Sniper, I could change from Sniper and go over to Spirit Haste instead, and it's not really gonna be game-changing overall. If the turn meter will be an issue for you, you might want to avoid getting Arcane Celerity. You can get a Defense 3 instead if you like, but we're gonna keep the masteries like this because they're not gonna be game-changing overall. So let's jump over into the Hydra clan boss. Now, we're not gonna do a full run. I haven't really built a team around him or anything like that. I just threw in some champions that had gear. I'm not even 100% sure what gear they have, some of the champions. So this is just kind of like a couple of rounds just to show you how the champion performs in there. But basically, he can do some work in here. He's not gonna be like God tier champion for the Hydra clan boss, but he won't be too bad either, you know. So let's land the Hex in here. I'm gonna manual just to show you one thing. The reason why I'm manualing is I want to provoke the Head of Decay right here. So let's just make sure that we are getting that on point. I don't have a tag down on this team because I feel like it's not really needed. Hopefully, we're gonna land the provoke with Husk here. We landed the provoke, so here I can actually click auto and don't worry about it. We landed the HP burn on the heads. Of course, we can get weak hits on the magic affinity because they are stronger affinity. So that's not gonna be that great because we have the HP burn that needs to stay on them in order to make sure we're not gonna get a poison cloud on them. So that's gonna be pretty annoying when it's gonna get a weak hit. Depending of the rotation, of course, that's gonna be pretty important. So we lost the buffs right there, you see. If I would have had him built with resistance, just as an idea, I would have had a blood shield accessory. The Head of Mischief was gonna get resisted and was not gonna steal my buffs. And I feel like that's a very important part as well. I love Husk, how powerful he is here because of that provoke. Like, I honestly think he's one of the best champions for Hydra. Now, with that HP burn, we are pretty decent. Now, I do have block buffs, debuff as well, just kind of like as a second option. That can help us too. I want to have the A3 as well, equalized, right? So I only have Doom Priest for healing here. Doom Priest is definitely not going to be enough on its own, you know? So I'm counting on him to heal my team as well. So I just want to use that skill as well once we're going to get it active. We should be on point with that pretty soon, I guess. At the moment, we still have decent HP on some of my champions, so that's not a problem. Actually, we can still go on for a bit longer on auto. So he got that extra turn as well. You see, with the healing that we're getting from Doom Priest is not even close, especially for champions like Royal Guard. When they are under 50% HP, that's actually gonna help quite a bit. Now, if you're gonna ask me, Skratch, is he really needed for the Hydra clan boss? Can I just use a different champion in here? Now, honestly, for this team, because I do have Ugo, he's not really needed. I'm gonna be honest. The HP burn, I have it in here just for the extra damage, not necessarily just for blocking the toxic cloud, you know. And I have him in here just for that extra heal, which at the moment is really no point in using it. So I'm going to land the HP burn. This is going to allow me to free my champion a bit faster if I'm going to manage to provoke the Head of Decay there. Or I'm going to just go with that skill in there. We got that up and running. That's kind of like the way it goes with the champion, you know. I'm definitely not going to use this because it's going to be a waste right now. He's decent for Hydra. That's kind of like my point. He's not going to be the god tier champion that you need. That's going to change your entire account for the Hydra clan boss or anything like that. We got the extra turn. We landed the HP burn again because we decreased the cooldown with that skill while we equalized the HP. So basically, that's pretty much the whole situation. That's how it goes with this champion. He won't do much except this couple of things, you know. The damage probably is not going to be huge, but considering that we have one AoE attack, that's going to give us a couple of War Master procs and stuff. But that was all for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of the Fusion Champion? Can you justify it to fuse it for your own account? Now, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I think you shouldn't skip the Fusion if you have the resources available. 1, it's going to be great for your Faction Guardians. It's definitely going to help you there. Guaranteed Legendary, take it. You know what I mean? Then he's going to be great for your Faction Wars if you are progressing through the game. Kind of like good for progression all around. Spider Dungeon. He's going to be great for the Doom Tower as well, for the Frost Spider. That's what we actually have available at the moment. You can use him in the Hydra clan boss if you do have the books for him. He's not necessarily the most important champion for it. If by any chance you are farming Spider 24, he's going to be great in there. If you are running champions like Ignatius, he's the only other champion that has HP burn unresistible. I actually forgot about that at the beginning of the video. But he's going to be great if you're running him with the CCR Flame Tongue to detonate that. It's going to be 100% a very fast team. You're not going to have any sort of issues. Well, I haven't landed it on that Spiderling, so I'm not going to one-shot the Spider now. I'm going to have issues there. This is going to allow you to do that, but unfortunately, it's not great for stage 25 because of the affinity. These were kind of like a few reasons why to fuse him, were more than 3, but just as an idea, that's pretty much what you can do with the champion. That was all for this video. Much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.